All right, everybody, it is a happy new year. We are in 2020. Awesome. And we will be talking about success stories today. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad that you guys decided to join us today. We will be talking about success stories. And my first success story is, for those of you who don't know, my son and I, that's the 20-year-old son of mine, Josiah. We started Route 66 and stopped in Albuquerque to hang out with you, Mr. Rafael Marrero. And we
plenty of green sauce there.
We did paint up one of the Cadillacs, actually all the Cadillacs that are there. I have some great pictures of Cadillac Ranch. That's Sunrise of Cadillac Ranch, just outside of Amarillo. We did make it all the way to Santa Monica, and then I blew back last week, starting on Thursday, drove halfway across the country in one day. So that is a success story. I don't care what anybody thinks. I am Dave Lowe. I'm the CEO of ISI Federal. I'm glad to be back in the saddle here as opposed to my saddle in the car. We are federal marketing folks, and we can help make contracting manageable, profitable, and fun. We hope that you will enjoy this session. A little bit about ISI Federal. We've been helping since 2009. Next month is 10 years for us, which is great. We have over $440 million in direct and indirect federal sales, booked a bunch of it this past year. And we do market intelligence because we have 62 million plus federal contracts, 1.2 million federal contacts, 3.1 million vendor contacts, and that gives us the ability to slam this stuff together to give you the best intelligence that you can get. They're calling me the king of data. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And we do professional business development support to help you get out in front of those key decision makers, including dedicated representation here in DC. And we do it faster and cheaper than doing it on staff. So please reach out. On the right-hand side, you will see, that would be this side if I'm looking at my screen right. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see some of the things. Market Essentials is in the intelligence package. Gov Contacts is something that we supply for the do-it-yourselfers. Gov Brief, we'll talk a little bit about that today, getting your message out there to the key decision makers, as well as Quick Fuse monitoring and GSA direct marketing for products. So there you have it. Gov Brief, we make you the expert. It's kind of just like this. We keep it light, keep it easy, make sure that we're driving some good educational material, and we drive the buyers to you and follow up and schedule the meetings for you so that you can get in front of those decision makers and get shortlisted. And with us, we have Mr. Rafi, I should say Doctor. Doctor is in the house. The doctor's in the house. Dr. Rafael Marrero from Rafael Marrero and Company. And this guy has written a book. Is it a bestseller yet there, Rafael?
Yeah, it's been a bestseller. Business entrepreneurship and also in the government management section. So 2 categories.
Sweet. And in order to read it, you have to be able to read Spanish. But somebody is working with Rafael on a new book. Don't know who that might be.
It's going to be called La Salsa Gringa.
So in this one, I will be able to read because I'm going to be writing some of it. So there you have it. And with us, we have Jamie Zell. He helps folks get GSA schedules and has a 100% track record getting those GSA schedules. What in the world is a GSA schedule, and why should anybody care, Jamie Zell?
Well, a GSA schedule is the most common and standard purchasing vehicle for the United States federal government to buy products and all kinds of services. And actually, they've recently undergone a schedule consolidation process, which I don't want to call it not scrambled eggs, but there's some hoops we're all jumping through at the moment. But in the long run, it's going to be very advantageous for companies with more than one discipline that would have resulted in them having to have more than one GSA schedule. They'll now have a combined GSA schedule, which is going to be very advantageous for them from a cost perspective, and also to be able to offer and hold all of their products and services under one consolidated GSA schedule. Now, from an acquisition standpoint, GSA, if you run into a buyer that's buying off GSA and they want what you have, if you don't have a GSA schedule, you miss the business. It's that simple. So you want to get a GSA schedule to be able to get all the business that's out there from within the federal government, because it's, I don't want to call it club status, but it's sort of like that, because it brings to the table that you have been a pre-approved buyer or pre-approved seller of your particular services, your particular products. You've been vetted with past performance. You've been vetted with your pricing. Everything has been pre-contrived as part of an awarded GSA contract. And that's an important component, because you not only use it directly with GSA, but you'll use it in other arenas as well. Federal buyers, even if they're not buying off GSA, you want to let them know you have your GSA schedule, because that says something about you and what you bring to the table, and also your dedication to be selling to the federal government. As a company, we've been doing this for over 15 years. As the panel shows there, over 100% track record as far as getting schedules awarded. We never miss, and we're the affordable GSA solution. Thank you, Raphael. I appreciate that.
Always a smart aleck in the bunch. Sometimes there's three or more.
Right.
Speaking of smart aleck, Greg Clark is in the house. Greg with DK Associates down there in Florida. Not too far from Raphael, just a little bit north. How are things with you, my man?
No complaints, all is well.
And we'll be highlighting a couple of I want to hear some success stories from you in a little bit. Greg and the DKA folks help with proposal writing. Both Jamie and Greg love to do paperwork, which is great, because I hate it. I hate it. Don't want anything to do with it. And anytime you call me, if you're calling me and you say we need help with a proposal, it's going over the fence to Greg. So we appreciate you being here, Greg, and we will make sure that you guys are just where are you guys located again?
We're in West Palm Beach, just starting our 25th year.
And you 25th year, and you booked how much business over those 25 years with the federal government?
We went over 1.6 billion last year, and Raphael's got the pose. Yeah, we went over 350. We got our 350th win a few months back, and combined values went over 1.6 billion last year. So
that's
moving on.
That's great, and that's no easy task, as anybody knows in the federal government. Is Kyle with us? Kyle Shirley? Well, if I don't see her here, but she pops in every once in a while, and I miss her. So with that, I will give a shout out to Kyle. If you're looking for funding, a lot of times when you have contracts, you need funding, and Kyle can help with that. She's the VP of BetterFin. She goes from startup all the way, especially SBA loans, all the way to big stuff. So if you need loans or funding, please reach out to Kyle. She's awesome. And a little bit about this webinar. Every second Tuesday, we have 900 registered, and we want to dialogue. We love this kind of environment. I love to assemble folks to bring these things together and talk about winning strategies and tactics and show off a little bit. And we are doing some showing off today, because we all did some really good stuff this past year. And before we jump into that, I want to know, this is a selfish question, sort of, but I want to know if you have a GSA contract. Do you have a GSA contract? Do you need a GSA contract, or do you like to help to determine if you need a GSA contract? That's the first question. That kind of leads into Jamie a little bit. But we do want to know who you are, because if you have a GSA contract, I'm going to show you something that's going to help you make money in 2020. And we'll guarantee it. If you stay with it for a year, we guarantee it that you will do 5 times what you pay for what QuickFuse is. And if you don't, then you will get all your money back. We will help you win in 2020. So with that, I'm going to give you another 5. Come on, folks. 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you're not, it's okay if you don't want to play the game. There we go. So this is what we got. Jamie, we got 45%. You got 18% that need one. And so a lot of folks need to determine if they need one. So we will make sure that you get information from Jamie. And for the folks who have a GSA schedule only, because you can't play with QuickFuse if you do not have a GSA schedule. And if you do, you can test drive QuickFuse for 30 days. Try it out. See how it works. It packages everything, sends it right to your email. It's $89 a month. One of the best investments you can make if you're monitoring GSA eBuy, period. because it saves a ton of time and a ton of money in trying to track stuff down. It keeps things organized, and a 500%, as I mentioned, 5 times as much guarantee, or your money will get back. So upcoming events, Dr. Marrero and I will be in Albuquerque for the Procurement Summit at 11:13. And if you think we're hilarious here, you just wait till we get live, because it's out of control. Right, Raphael? Uh-oh. Raphael's speaking so great, we can't tell.
I'm speaking in a foreign language, sorry.
Sign language.
We're going to have so much fun, and the maracas are not included, so.
Oh my gosh. So for those of you who don't know how in the world I got involved with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, because we were out there at Albuquerque for the national one, I literally ride Dr. Rafael Marrero's coattails in there, because I am absolutely not Hispanic, and I love all the folks. We have a great time. I am the token. What am I called? What am I called?
The token gringo.
The token gringo on Capitol Hill, no less. So it's a beautiful thing. We have a great time. I love working with the folks. And the other folks that I like to work with. This is the first time for me working with these folks. Procurement Summit in McLean, Virginia. A lot of hype around this one. Business Development Capture Convention. They have dubbed me the king of data because of the information that we have and the things that we supply in our intelligence package. So if you're around in this area, in the DC area, on the 19th of November, please feel free to sign up for that. I've heard great things. They got some heavy hitters coming in. It's pretty cool. Lots and lots of good keynote speakers. All right, let's get on with it. First, we have to start with a disclaimer that we're not affiliated with the government. So there you go. We're not affiliated with the government, and anybody who is with the government who's participating today, every once in a while we have some folks. If you are participating today, this is your release that you can talk about stuff without anybody thinking that you're an endorsing anybody or committing to purchase from any vendor. So we got rid of that. If you like the way that that Stanford outfit looks on our chief author over there, you can make him larger, or you can make him disappear altogether. But it'll be all of us. So you can't just make one of us disappear. So you got to, but you can make us larger or smaller. And I had somebody call me out a couple of weeks ago on a Gov brief, and that is a signed 24 poster by Kiefer Sutherland in the background. There you have it. If you want to chat with us, you want to communicate, we love this. This is the idea. Today is Success Day. We want to hear your successes, and we want to hear challenges too if you have them, but successes for sure. So find that. You can open up the chat. If you have any questions, pop them in there. If you would like to communicate back and forth and you called on the phone, you make sure that you put in your pound that it says right there in that panel, and we will be able to unmute you. So we will be talking about success stories. So you can raise your hand, or you can put them in and say, hey, I got a success story. This is what happened to me this year. We love to hear it, and especially if it happened in September, because September's pay dirt, right, Raphael?
Right.
And I can't sign language again.
Nope, that's right.
That's right. So why are we here today? We are all here today for one reason. We all want to win federal contracts. That's why we're here. That's why Jamie makes GSA contracts, so that you can win. That's why Raphael helps with certifications, so that you can get set asides and push those competitors aside and get included in shortlists so that you can win federal contracts. And here's what some people are saying, right? Jamie, we hear this all the time, don't we? There's a group down in Florida that we hear this from. Selling to the government is easy. Just get on the GSA schedule and whee, right down into the money, right? Not happening. And you got to unmute yourself too, man.
Those guys are in northern Florida, though, not the southern, not the south.
Yeah. May I clarify that, please?
We will clarify. I agree. My apologies for you people that are in the right place in Florida. It's the Tampa St. Pete area. So if you run into anybody there, make sure you do your triple, quadruple due diligence on those folks. Right, Jamie Zell?
You're on the wrong coast.
You got to unmute yourself, man. You can't unmute yourself?
Adam,
unmute me. Using German equipment. That's what it is.
There you go. Adam, thank you. Yeah, I found the mute button. I'm good on that now. So, yes, that's exactly right. Be careful, folks. Just getting your GSA schedule is only the start. That gets you into the parking lot of the fun park. From there, you have to go win business, make relationships. Super important. The skies don't open up and money just rains all over you. You got to go make the relationships to make it happen. Super important.
It's super important. And guess what? None of us would be in business. I wouldn't be here. Raphael, you wouldn't need any of us if it didn't look like this. Right, Raphael?
That's right.
Because the real story is that it's not easy, and there's a lot of things that are stacked against you, but there is ways to be able to win, and we're going to be talking about those success stories, and I'm going to start with you, Mr. Marrero, who helps folks get those certifications. How important are certifications in being able to help with those set-asides? How important?
Very, very important. Very important, because the government has a mandate to set aside a specific portion of all proceeds of all government contracts, and they go through their pecking list when they do their market surveys or their sources sought surveys, and they need to find out how many 8A, how many veteran-owned, women-owned, HUBZone certified companies can actually provide a specific product or service. If they cannot find someone, or at least two companies, to invoke the rule of two, right? Then they make it like other, full small business. And then if they can't make it a small business, then it's full and open. So having the cert makes all the difference in the world.
It can. And we push the certs. What we do in the marketing side, we want all the tools in our quiver that we could possibly have. So we go in there, arrows in the quiver, tools in the toolbox. My apologies. Fix that metaphor. But when you're going in, you can actually, like Raphael said, you can actually drive choice of two. That means they can choose two companies that have those set-asides and only compete it with them. It's a beautiful thing. So you have some success stories. There's a couple here, these folks, and I know a lot of these. I don't know all of them, but I know a lot of these folks. Some of these are some really high quality people. Tell us about what happened this past year with these folks.
Yeah, so we've had a great year, Dave. I just came back from speaking at the Inc. 5000 conference as one of the nation's experts on government contracting, and in the Inc. corner. And so these four individuals that you see there are some of our success stories. Antonio Noah, 437% growth. He's number 972 on the Inc. 5000 this year, a two-time Inc. 5000 honoree. Santi Fernandez and Claimer Cruz, I got them DBE certified. I've been working on their branding, their marketing materials, helping them renegotiate some of their contract clauses to help improve cash flow. Well, they've gone from, long story short, they've gone from a $700,000 company to almost $10 million in revenue. They've experienced 1,137% growth, and that's been part of the counseling, the management consulting, the advisory services that we provide to help them get there and tweak their messaging, above all, their messaging and their brand. Miguel Lopez Jr. is also a two-time Inc. 5000 honoree, and this year was a small year for him, and he still grew by 123%. So he's gone from $7 million to $26 million, and we also helped him with this 7A business loan, which helped him buy a $2.5 million corporate headquarters in Pembroke Pines. He's got a great location. The company is doing outstanding. He is the king of all things that are asphalt related, and he does parking, water, and sewer. He's great. So these are some of our success stories for this year.
And they're quality people. Miguel is just super quality guy. I mean, whenever we get together at the Hispanic Chamber, we're hanging out with him, and I just love hanging with him. Crazy Cuban stories. I mean, horror stories, family type heart, just surviving crazy stuff. So if you need any asphalt work, Miguel is the guy, and just super quality guy. And he's the one that introduced me to Cuban bread of all people, not you, Raphael. How you like that?
Well, yeah, sure. Blame it on me, right?
That's right. No, when I was down there. Anyway, it's great time. All right. So, do you need help with certifications? Let's see, certification help. Very quick, easy poll. Yes or no? I need certification help. If you want it, 8A, HUBZone, woman-owned, service disabled. That's all you, Raphael, right?
And DBE also, FDOT DBE.
All right,
that's right.
Doing the state stuff. So cool. So we'll leave this open for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and you can do it. It is not painful. Boom. All right, so there you go. So 33% of the folks need help. We will make sure that you get communicated with Raphael. So if you have a success story, open up the right panel and let me know. I don't see anybody with a success story, which may be the reason why you're here today, which would be cool. Not good, but cool that you're here if you're looking to do successful stuff in 2020. All right, if you have one, open up that panel, let me know. Jamie Zell, you're up. Tell us about some of the success stories you've had. I know you've had a lot of them over the years.
We certainly have. There's one that I wanted to talk about in particular because although not unique, and we've seen this repeat itself before, we had a client, this was way back early in the year, February, I think was the timeline. They had engaged with another company to get their GSA schedule, and they just weren't getting there. And I don't want to say what area of the United States it is, but it's nice a lot of the times of the year. So they just weren't getting there, and the communication was falling apart, and they came off, they pulled back, they were very gun shy. We had a chance to talk with them. It was actually about 5 or 6 meetings because they had been this route of what they thought was a one and only solution for getting a GSA schedule through a professional consultant. We eventually, we knew their big picture package was actually a couple of schedules because of their diversity, but we eventually were able to convince them to engage with us. We began the process, and we marched along. Let's see, February, March, April. It was about first part of May, their package went in, it sat, it bubbled up to the top. We got it assigned to a contracting officer. They actually had push from the inside out because they had a federal contractor that wanted to work with them. So they had some push to help expedite the process. Once it did come up, they did get awarded their GSA schedule. They've now run some real nice business out of that GSA schedule. And maybe it's a success story for all of us because A, there are companies that'll get you there. B, we got them their GSA schedule. They've already started their second GSA schedule, which is separate and apart from the consolidated piece, but it's allowing them now the confidence to keep moving forward while they're ringing the bell with their awarded GSA contract. And they're very happy with the way things are going. So GSA can be good success. But stick to it because it's not always an easy process, but even though you go through some storms, it's a prize worth having because there's a lot of revenue attached to GSA.
There certainly is, and like you said, the biggest thing is that if you have somebody internally driving that, it helps, and that's where the marketing comes from. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Appreciate that, Jamie. And like you said, you also do the maintenance stuff, keeping those things up and running, squeaky clean, making sure that all the mass mods are happening. So if you need help with GSA, reach out to Jamie, and I will ask the question. I think I already asked this earlier, but I'm going to ask it in this way. I need GSA help. I have a GSA contract. I want to see if I qualify for a GSA contract. I need help with making the sales requirements. So let us know about that on all those fronts. And we do know that you have to sell $25,000 a year, right, Jamie?
That's exactly correct. That's once you have your GSA schedule. And initially it's new GSA schedule, $25,000 in the first 2 years. And then after that, $25,000 per year with your GSA schedule itself, which is actually a very small number when you look at the big picture of things and what the average successful GSA schedule people are clocking. I think it's still around 3.2, 3.3 million per year directly on GSA.
Yep, I would agree. And there you go. So 50% want to see if they qualify. So we'll make sure Jamie gets in touch with you guys as well. Any other success stories? Come on, folks. If you don't have success stories, that's okay. But we're going to keep talking about our success stories so that it can be done. Can it be done, Jamie Zell?
It most certainly can. And all you need to do is apply yourself, dig in, and don't quit. Because
That's
sometimes
right.
You're going to run into stopping points and tripwires, but you got to pick up and keep moving forward, and we'll always get there together.
You got that right. And so, Greg Clark, you got a great success story for that I've already I've heard part of that success story dealing with a veteran-owned company. How did that happen?
That happened because the wife of an existing client is a veteran who was service disabled, and they started a company to move into some other areas. And the existing client, it's actually our first client dating back to '95, and we've won them about 27 5-year contracts. Almost all of them are shelf stocking contracts with Defense Commissary Agency, where they're stocking the shelves and cleaning the floors on the grocery stores and military installations. And the wife went ahead and started a company with her being a service disabled veteran, starting a business with that certification. And we bid a few. They said they wanted to try bidding on those. We said, she doesn't have any experience, so this is not going to be easy. So I know, but we want to give it a try. And so we started bidding, and she was awarded a 5-year contract worth about $4.7 million with 0 experience and 0 revenue, and she's been on the job about 6 weeks, and all is well. And they have another family member that has a business, and they're going to move her in eventually once that contract's moving slowly. Novate sub part of that contract out so she can develop some experience, and then she'll be able to start bidding as well. I had a second company that contacted me. They were told by someone at DECA that if they wanted to break into the shelf stocking industry, they need to talk to me. So she called me and said, she wanted to start bidding, and she's doing about $4 million a year, and she's 8A certified. And it just so happens that a client that I helped get a sole source contract at one of the installations has graduated and has 1 year left. So I guided her to speak to the small business rep at DECA and make a call, and we found out who the administrator was on that contract that's ending, and that they've begun negotiations on her taking over a 5-year contract that's worth about $2 million a year.
And you said a whole bunch of stuff's wrapped into that. Certifications, 2 different certifications, veteran owned as well as 8A, and the fact that the incumbent has a tremendous advantage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, you have the advantage because you've been there, but at the same time, we've won 43 shelf stocking contracts, and we weren't the incumbent on very many of those.
And but you do know the language of DECA.
Absolutely. It's an industry where our client doesn't have to provide anything but past performance. We'll write the whole technical, we'll staff it out, we'll price the whole thing, and then present it to you. Obviously, it's a better relationship when it's a collaboration and our client is involved the whole way. But even clients like that first client that we've been working with since '95, they're busy running their company. They trust us, that they know that they say, yes, I call them up. Hey, this is out. You want to do it? Yup. That's their involvement in the proposal, answering the phone and saying yup. And 3 weeks later, we send them the proposal to review. They review it with the pricing history that I've received from the contracting office. They spend a few hours going through it and make changes where they see until it meets their approval, and then we print, copy, bind, box, and ship.
And it's not always that easy.
It's never that easy. I mean, I make it sound like it's that easy, but I mean, that's an example of how easy it can be at times with everything is right. And when you've worked with somebody for a long time.
That's right. So when you start talking about long-term relationships, when you know each other well and you know what each other are going to do and you know how it works, that's how it works. The first ones are challenging, but you
very
understand
hard,
the ins and outs of doing it. So great stuff. Great stuff. So question, do you need proposal help? These are the brand new 2020 Success 2020 questions. Very easy. Yes or no. Awesome. There's a lot of folks that need proposal work there, Greg.
We're here.
That's why you're here. And that's why this is why we do this, so we can make the connections so you understand the components and make the connections. You get to hear how it works and this is exactly why we do this.
If it was easy, we'd have been out of business a long time ago.
That's exactly right. Well, all of us would be. If it was fast, easy, and cheap, everybody would be. You wouldn't need any of us. So there you go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. Look at that. 86% there, brother. I do believe you're going to be talking to a few folks later today.
I will clear my afternoon.
There you go. So success stories, if you got them, this is supposed to be back and forth dialogue with things that you've done this year. And if you're here because you want to hear the rest of success stories, most important is we want to make you successful in 2020. So if I don't hear from anybody in the next 2 seconds, I'm taking over my slot because we're talking a little bit about ISI Federal and what we've done in the past year. We have several different success stories, but I want to highlight one. I did highlight this before, but I'm going to highlight it again because we see this a lot. What happens, Jamie Zell, if you don't reach your numbers in 2 years with GSA?
For starters, it starts with hate mail. That you're not meeting your numbers. You need to get your numbers up. We're not kidding. Ultimately, what they will do is cancel your schedule if you stop performing with GSA. You can't get it and leave it lie dormant because GSA has resources involved in metering, monitoring, maintaining on their end as well. So you got to make your numbers, or they're gonna pull the schedule on you.
Yep. And so they got some of those nasty grams. They didn't get the super nasty gram yet because we developed a proactive plan to go out. Number one, find the decision makers. The whole system is rigged to send you through a process that you're not talking to decision makers. You need to talk to decision makers. Our information with the intelligence, we can find the decision makers, and we want to know about the market. We don't just want to know about the certain areas of the market. We want to know specifically against their competitive landscape and say who's playing in this space. And we looked at different categories in the marketplace. And if you take a look, there's a little bit of money here, but we looked in, they have Schedule 75 and 871, 7 and 520, right? So let's take a look. 70 billion plus market. Very good. There's money to be had there. Look at this. There's 123,000 contracts with 409 companies. Okay. That's not a crazy number of companies, right? 409 out of how many thousands are in the SAM database, Rafael Marrero?
Out of 4.5 million?
4.5 million. So there you have it. So the beautiful thing about this is when you do the research and you start looking at the marketplace this way, look at the competitive landscape, 409 companies, 76% of these have less than 5 competitors. That means it's not everything's going out on FBO, and we know that people like to buy from people they know, like, and trust. Don't we, Rafael?
Absolutely.
We know that people buy from the people that they know can do the business, right? So this we know. So then we say, okay, who is it? We find that there's 6,189 buyers that are associated with these folks. Average contract value over $500,000, and the contacts that are associated with them. One federal relationship is worth over $500,000 in this. So now we understand who they are. Now we need a process to go after them. The proactive plan that we use is driving that message with GovBrief. We find the decision makers, and then we get in front of those. So we send out 6,189 invites. The top 250 get special treatment. We have 1,718 clicks and 189 responses. That means that we're getting dialogue throughout the whole process. And as a result of that, we're building the brand. So you need a federal brand. Do you need a federal brand, Rafael?
Absolutely, positively, yes.
Is it the same as your commercial brand, Rafael?
Completely different. There are nuances. There's specific lingo. It's what I call the 6 C's. Your value proposition is encapsulated in these little silos and bits and pieces of information that the contracting officers, your teaming partners, and the key procurement decision makers understand. And if you don't have it, you're going to come across as a novice, and they don't want to hear it.
You're exactly right. So you're building your brand, the information's going out there. And so GovBrief, we help you make your pitch, give you expert status. We're educating. We're not telling them that you do greatest things since sliced bread, even if you are. We talk about best practices, and we connect with what's coming down on their head. We understand the initiatives that are coming down. We the objective is to build your brand and elevate you as a subject matter expert. That's what happens in the marketplace, and that's why you get preferential treatment. And as a matter of fact, here's what happened. Got a call from DOL right after the briefing. They attended. They wanted to see if they can get us for Claimsworth. Very exciting. Also spoke to the program manager and the COTAR. How important is it to be able to reach all three of those folks, Raphael? If you're after these folks, you got the contracting person and you have two people on the program side in one hit. How important is that?
That's beautiful. That's a perfect world right there. That's as good as it gets.
It is as good as it gets. And if you look at what the handouts are, there's a winnability opportunity matrix, and these four people, that's the contracting officer, the program manager, and the technical representative, are the people that you need to start moving into the green. They at least need to know who you are. And here in this instance, we got all three. We have three of the four. The administrator is just doing political stuff. We don't even need the administrator. But if we have the CO, the PM, and the COTAR, bam, we're in business. The technical representative as well. The objective also is to know about things before they happen. We already know about things before they happen because it hasn't even started yet. So that's a beautiful thing. And the next part is leaning towards a minimal number of people. So they want to talk to them. They're already being included on the short list. This is the short list, the number of competitors, as we talked about before. And this is why it's a success. Not only is it a success, we can repeat this over and over again and put that message out and change the messaging, hit different market segments. We can make sure that we're building your federal brand over and over and over again, and we're reaching thousands of decision makers, getting you as a subject matter expert, and within 60 days, you're out meeting with these folks and you're starting those new relationships. Now, some of those relationships may take 2 or 3 years to come to fruition, right, Raphael? It doesn't mean that, bam, all of a sudden you're.
It's not going to happen overnight, but
that's right.
Touching the right touch point is important, right? Like
and there's a reason why we're here. One of the main reasons is to make sure you're expanding your mindset from 30, 60, 90 days of an entrepreneur and putting you into years.
Mm-hmm.
First year, 18 months, very, very important window. 2 years. GSA gives you 2 years to make $25,000. Why do you think that is? Because it takes 2 years before you start to get traction and get into the space, especially if you're waiting for the phone to ring. If you're waiting for the phone to ring, it's going to take you a lot longer than that, and it's not going to happen. So, proactive plan. Do you need a proactive federal marketing plan for your business? Everybody should say yes, but this is my side, so I'm kind of selfish in it. Do you need federal marketing help getting out in front of those key decision makers? Making sure that they're paying attention when they have a requirement for you, because it may happen tomorrow. Probably not going to happen tomorrow because we just finished fiscal year end. But you need to be out in front of those folks, and we can help you do it. And with that, I'm opening up the panel for some more success stories. I was hoping that somebody else that came here would have a success story. So with that, we're getting another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. And you'll get feedback from my folks on that one. So at the end of this, I'll tell you what's going to happen. $539 billion in the next 345 days. Woo! Billion. And guess what? It starts right now. You want to be successful? I love this picture, by the way. It's one of my favorites. It's an old one that I pulled. But if you think
you were a cute little kid.
He is, man. That isn't me, but it is a cool picture. You know what I think it is? If you ever seen this picture or not, I think if you look at his hand, he's digging in the sand, right? And I think he just put a mouthful of sand in his, got a mouthful of sand. He's like, well, I'm not so sure about that. Anyhow, success starts now. Do not wait, because every day that you wait is time where your competitors, and especially the incumbent, is continuing to have their hooks in your first or second client in this. So ISI Federal, you can check us out on YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as isifederal.com, helping with intelligence marketing. There's vehicles outside of just GSA that we can help with, BPAs and IDIQs. If it comes to paperwork, it's going to one or two people. It's going to be Jamie Zell or Greg Clark, because we don't like paperwork here. But we do like the sales side of things, and helping with the representation and bid monitoring. Speaking of bid monitoring, if you do have a GSA schedule, get on QuickFuse. You can do it, quickfuse.com, QUIKFUSE.com. Test drive it for 30 days. If you stay for a year, you will make money. You'll just make more money. You won't understand how it works until you're using it. Just use it, see how it works, see how it helps your business. Jamie Zell can help you get those GSA contracts. And with the maintenance, we did touch on that. What does maintenance mean, Jamie?
Well, it's a matter of keeping your contract current and correct, especially with commodities contracts, because part numbers change, models come out, models go. Old stuff needs to be deleted. So it's a matter of keeping things current and correct. With regards to professional services, it's about looking at profitability of where your pricing's at and taking advantage of economic price adjustments, other things that you may be doing, or making specials within your GSA schedule to help nudge and make business happen. And then from there is follow that back up and put your then new customers in a regular repeat course. So once you have your GSA schedule, it doesn't just take care of itself. It does need to be catered to and taken care of, and we can help you with that as well. I would be happy to help you out. Any questions you have in GSA, new acquisitions, do I qualify, whatever. Very much telephone kind of guy, give me a ring, and then my email address is there as well. I'd be happy to help you out.
Excellent. We appreciate you being here, Jamie, as well as you, Greg. This is how they can get in touch with you, Greg Clark, gclark@dkahome.com, as well as your extension 102 that doesn't have a blinking light anymore.
You were talking about yourself feeling out of place when you were in New Mexico at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. 6 years ago, the Chickasaw Nation, the client of mine, invited me to give a presentation at the Native American Economic Summit in
Wow.
New Mexico. So I understand the feeling. It was a great time.
So the New Mexico question is red or green?
That's it.
Green.
Green.
Absolutely.
The red is freaking hot. If you don't know what we're talking about in New Mexico, it's salsa, man. And let me tell you, hot is hot. Oh my goodness, and it was great.
That's why they give you a slice of watermelon with every meal.
Yeah,
Cool you down.
and red and green is Christmas. So you can do Christmas if you want to, but I'm telling you what, the green is quite enough for this gringo. Just saying. So, and speaking of gringo and coattails with Rafael Marrero, appreciate you being here.
Always a pleasure.
Always. And if you need, I'm telling you, a lot of things have revolved around certifications today. Greg was talking about it. I mentioned it. And we really didn't talk about what you do to help get those certifications, just touched on that. But the 8A process, GSA is kind of like a physical, right? Getting a physical, but the 8A process is a proctology exam.
Oh yeah. No doubt. So that's where everybody gets packing on that one. Yeah,
it is crazy, right?
Toughest certification you can find.
We
have a 100% success rate on it, and we're good at it. We help you get your ducks in a row. That's where those three little duckies come in. Get you squared away and become contract and procurement ready.
And we will be talking about procurement readiness in the next one, getting folks procurement ready as well. And speaking of procurement ready, we will be out in Albuquerque again. And believe me, it's the green sauce for me, the green salsa. So, but you're going to be talking about a different kind of salsa, right?
That's right. We're going to be talking about this kind of salsa.
This is salsa secreta. How about that? Did you hear that?
Hey, you got it down, man. You know what? I'm going to have you do the introduction during the keynote. That's it.
Record that, please.
Oh my gosh, that's just a recipe for embarrassment. But where I don't have to try to, and it's so funny because we've talked about this so many times. It's like everybody's like, you got to learn Spanish. I'm like, I feel like such a poser if I try to say something in Spanish, that it is, it's just, I'd rather.
If you started waving your hands like this and speaking Spanish, you would be a total poser.
Oh, it is terrible. Anyway, if you're around here in McLean, Virginia, where you don't have to necessarily speak Spanish, but you can if you want, for the Business Development Capture Convention, you can go check that out. It's bdcapcon.com. And again, you can check us out on YouTube. I thought I already said that, but if I didn't, then you can check us out on YouTube and LinkedIn. And the next one is going to be November 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. As usual, we'll be back to our second Tuesday talking about Success 2020. And that's the theme. And I love all about what that means and being able to say, look, we all want to be successful in 2020. And having your eyes on the right goal and all that stuff, the whole 2020 vision thing, that works out well. So if you need help with any of that stuff, reach out to me. If you missed anybody's names, if you missed anybody's emails, reach out to me. I'll be glad to get them to you. You will get follow-up calls from the folks today and follow-ups because we know that you want to maximize what you're doing in 2020 because we didn't have a whole lot of success stories from the folks that were here. So we definitely appreciate you being here. We're glad you decided to spend a little bit of your time on this Tuesday with us. And if there's anything else we can do for you, please let us know. Thanks for being here. Raphael, great. Jamie, great. Greg, great. Appreciate you guys being here. And I will see you next month.